Well, I don't know if I did or not. Um,
Okay.
I guess I haven't heard from them yet. I did find out that they had some uh, conflicting information on their website.
Mm-hmm.
But the point I was trying to make is um, I was, I think, 40 days late. You know, we get four water bills a year,
Mm-hmm.
and I was 40 days late or so. But I had also identified that they don't send their bills out on time,
Okay.
and they're not actually even following their own processes. There seems to be one process for businesses and a different one for houses.
Okay.
And I'm asking these questions about why did you shut my water service off when this other place I know of has gone 6 months without a shut off?
Mm-hmm.
And they couldn't really answer that. So, and that's where I've gathered information together and was going to basically present what we can identify as their own um, disorganized processes.
Okay.
The point I was trying to make is it's crazy to shut a business down for a 45 days late water bill when I'm standing there with the check, giving it to them, and they won't take it.
Yeah. Because they've got another department that takes that, and the person that shuts it down doesn't have anything to do with that. And
Well, it's also kind of stupid. What the shut-off cost me is that I had to send all my employees home. I had to not respond to the customer requests that we were getting. It cost me hundreds and hundreds of dollars. And if I
okay.
had understood that process, I would have been able to do something. The part of the problem that we have here is that people steal our mail. Yeah. Well, our problem is people steal our mail.
Mm-hmm.
And so if a bill comes and we don't get it, we don't know we didn't get it until something happens. Like, and I've had this with different of my, like the power folks and the gas folks and all of those critical services. And what I'm
Mm-hmm.
trying to do is figure out, and suggest back to the city, before you send out someone to shut the water off, why don't you give them a call?
Mm-hmm.
Before you do that, why don't you send them an email? They have my email address. They have my phone number.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here every day. If they say, look, we're about to shut your water service off, I'll write them a check. But they didn't do that. And because the guy who came out couldn't take my check, he could only shut my service off. I had to take off, send everybody home, go down to City Hall, pay the bill. They took my check, and then they dispatched the crew out again. There were 3 people in that crew, and they were at my building 3 times. It took 9 man-hours to get $45 out of me.
And basically, well, yeah, that was much more expensive for the city from what they're getting.
Right.
And couldn't that employee have done that with having like a cell phone on them to call into a supervisor?
He had a cell phone. He
Okay.
was talking to his supervisor, and the
Okay.
supervisor told him, no, we can't take a check. So, I wasn't counting the fact that the supervisor's time was in on that equation. But, as a small business owner and as the owner of a small commercial building where I'm trying to lease space to other small businesses, this was the equivalent of being tasered for jaywalking.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's stupid. It drives businesses out of the city. The question I have is, if they will take this kind of action over that little bit of money, why am I toughing it out here where my mail gets stolen, where my building gets graffiti on it, and where I have to face the high income tax rates that we face here?
Mm-hmm.
Why don't I go out to the township, anywhere in the townships where there is no income tax, where there isn't people walking by stealing my mail, and where people don't put graffiti on my building?
Mm-hmm.
I've got to answer that question at some point, and the thing that I've got to evaluate is whether this city can actually change its practices and become business friendly, or whether we're all going to have to leave.
Anyway, have you got anywhere else with City Hall since this?
That's where we're at now. What I was going to do is go back down. We were supposed to have a meeting, but our schedules got all messed up on my schedule, my part.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going to sit down with the mayor and say, look, instead of, if you're only this far late, wouldn't a call be better than a shut-off? And if I show up and if I have a check, wouldn't be taking the check be better than a shut-off? The thing I'm trying to get to is to see if they can amend their processes and get a little more consistent, or if they just push me off and say, screw you.
Mm-hmm.
You're a little business. We don't care about you. Because if they push us off and say, well, screw you, we're the city, we're big, we're going to shut your water off if we want to. Every little business has got to figure out that any kind of little discrepancy or problem like this, even over small amounts of money, will shut them down. And, you got to think about that. Because
Mm-hmm.
if I'm running a business, I've got to think about something that would shut me down.
Have you been told whether or not have you been given a date or anything by the city when they get back to you, or?
No, I wasn't given a date.
Okay, so you're still waiting back.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm Dan Barton. I reside at 338 Central Avenue in Dayton. I'm here tonight to speak to a different issue. I also have a business in the city of Dayton at 1823 East 4th Street in the old multi-service. We renovated that from a Hulk and have a little informal business incubator there, including my own marketing business. The reason I'm here tonight is to talk about your water policy and to give you some information that I think could help change that policy. Yesterday, the water department knocked on my door while I had an important meeting going on with a customer and informed me that they were there to shut off my water. I was quite surprised. We huddled. We do not have a full-time attendant Dept. I have a part-time bookkeeper. And we found the bill, and in fact, indeed, did see that it was past due, and we prepared a check on the spot. The representative who was there to take and shut off the water supply, however, would not take the check. Was there only to shut off the water, and basically informed me that there was a shut-off fee, an administrative fee, and then a turn-back-on fee. I have 3 water services at different properties. They are all current. This one was 45 days late, and that was my oversight, and I would pay a late fee that would be appropriate to that. My problem is a $180 water bill looks like it's going to generate $100 in service fees. Beyond that, it shut my business down. I had a meeting going on. One of my clients got up to use the restroom and discovered that the water wasn't working, so we had to shut the meeting down. I had to empty the building and send everybody home. Well, I went down with the check that the city worker would not accept and put it down through the window, down through here. I tried to explain to the administrative folks at that point that I had not received a shut-off notice. We have issues with our mail delivery and frequently don't get things on time. In fact, I have the documents here as to when we did receive our original bill, and it's nothing like the date that's indicated on the water bill. So your policy and the way it's implemented do not sync with your own standards. I think you need to overrule the policy and set something up so that if someone who is a 30-year customer who has paid their bills on time for 30 years and gets delinquent by 45 days, that the resolution is not a shut-off. So I'd appreciate if you could take a look into it. Thank you very much.
Mr. Barton, quickly, they're billing you $35 for the shut-off?
I think it will be $75.
If it's $35 for the shut-off and the turn on?
There's a service call fee to shut it off, a service call fee to turn it on, and a $15 clerical fee to basically get it through the system again.
And what did our webpage show you the fee was? $10?
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm looking at a $75 fee against a $180 bill that was $45 or 45 days late. But again, I didn't receive these bills as anything like the time frame that was received, and I didn't receive a shut-off notice.